Hello again everyone and welcome to this Empire Gaming Review. I am your tech and gaming guy Dave, and this week we are looking at the latest release from Microsoft, Turn 10 and Playground Games with the release of Forza Horizons 4 on Xbox and Windows 10 platforms. We've been playing this on both the Xbox One X at 4K and also on the PC at good old 1080p, which is what most of our video capture has been done on. Now, Forza Horizons has always been the lighter side of the Forza franchise, eschewing from the track-focused experience of the motorsport titles and instead focusing on delivering a driving lifestyle in an open-world setting, and this title is no different in that regard. What it does take from the motorsport titles is the deep selection of cars and customization that comes with it, which has been one of the Forza franchise's greatest triumphs. It is a series quite literally standing on the shoulders of giants, but in the best way. This title comes with a whopping 450 plus cars of varying classes and styles and multiple disciplines to play through in the campaign. Each one can be fully customized and tuned, but now each car also has its own skill tree to progress through, which will work more for some than others. Personally, I love it, as it means that unlocking some of the early skills for the cars that I am heavily drawn to was easier, and I tend to gravitate towards specific vehicles for the most part. Other players, especially those who really enjoy switching out their vehicle at every opportunity, may see this change as more of a barrier to unlocking the top tier skills. Now, in order to get the most out of this massive selection of vehicles, you are going to need a suitable sandbox. This time around, the Horizons Festival has been set up in the United Kingdom, around the Lake District and up into Scotland, including a memory-evoking rendition of Edinburgh, or Dunedin for those of us from the South Island. Another, perhaps unintended but most assuredly welcome change for this version of Horizons is that it also means that people drive on the correct side of the road, which meant I almost immediately went ahead into a few vehicles, as my brain has now been rewired to expect people to be driving on the right. Actual mechanics wise, you'll not really encounter anything radically different than you would expect from a Forza title. It's definitely on the arcadey side of racing once you're off-road, and I found that for quite a few of the cross-country or rally style races, brakes were largely unnecessary. Of course, with road courses, mixed surfaces and drift zones, it's a different story, and each one has its own set of nuances to master. It's a very large game in terms of content. Every event you enter gets you credits and influence points, which allows you to progress through the seasons of the game, which, in an interesting turn, are the actual 4 seasons in a year. And generally skillful driving grants you additional influence as well as skill points, which can be spent on the skill tree of your vehicles. There's an absurd amount of gamification wrapped around the whole experience, with prize wheel spins unlocking gear, credits and cars for your drivatar to use, and less often you'll get multi-spins which allow you to unlock 3 things at a time. Now I'm going to point out that whilst none of this is necessary, it's all entertaining, and will certainly scratch an itch for some gamers who like being able to customize their avatar to the nth degree. Additionally, as all items are earned in-game with no sign of microtransactions or loot boxes, it stays firmly in the fun zone as opposed to feeling like a bit of a rip-off. Happy times all round. Progression was pretty steady for me, and I say that taking into account the fact that we were given the Ultimate Edition of the game, which adds VIP access, effectively doubling your credits and giving you extra cars and gifts. One of the things that I particularly enjoyed, and this is a very important point, is that it really wasn't necessary to unlock a shed load of cars to progress in this game. A handful of basic vehicles and a couple of fun tuning options resulted in a stable of cars with which any in-game activity was accessible. Sure, I'll look at some of the exotics in the game and think, yes please, but when I was actually playing, I got more enjoyment and satisfaction from a mid-tier touring car that I threw together over a unicorn-level hypercar. Ultimately, this is the most refined, most comprehensive, and for me, the most enjoyable Forza Horizons title to date. It has a great vehicle selection with deep customization options, a superb sandbox that can be as open or as closed as you want it to be. Graphically, it's the strongest yet, and on the Xbox One X with a good TV, The 4K mode looks beautiful if you can be satisfied with 30 frames per second. Both Nick and I think that this is absolutely a Game of the Year shortlister for 2018, and with it supporting crossplay between Windows and Xbox, and being available on the Xbox Game Pass too, it's one of the easiest games to get into this year. That reasoning, value and accessibility combined with the content that's been put together for this title leads me to issue only my second masterpiece score for this year, meaning that this one gets a 10 out of 10 from me. Now, as always, thanks for checking this review out. Feel free to let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, a thumbs down if you didn't, and as always, if you've not already, do drop a quick click on the subscribe and notify buttons to make sure that you hear about it when we post our next review right here on the Empire NZ. Thanks for spending your time with us today, and as always, I was Dave. See ya!